is a clear plan for updating website regularly. So I'm going to do this a little bit in general and just kind of tackle this from anything that has a regular schedule and that either you or you're having someone else do. And I think that the first way to do this is to have it, let's say, I'm just going to approach it from you are doing it. So let's say you have a website you need to update and it's a weekly content and there's a couple other things that need to happen. So if this takes more than 15 minutes, I would say that put this into the calendar. It's recurring. It takes some finite amount of time, and I'm going to make it up and say it takes an hour of your time. So put it at the same time each week if you can, and pop it into your calendar. It's there. Now that time at least is accounted for, so that as you move forward, you start to understand, okay, this task has to happen, and it's taking up time in my calendar. It's obviously something that exists. I think that's one of the problems we have is we add these tasks and we don't have a clear understanding of how much time it may take us or what all is involved. So then the second step to this is to add to that calendar event. If you're using Google Calendar, you can just edit the calendar entry and put in there anything you need. So starting with the outline of the task. If it's updating, maybe you have a WordPress site, you need to literally update the plugins to make sure the site stays up to date. So you do that. Do you need to update an article? Okay, is there any instructions that go into that? And maybe you link out to like a Trello card or to a Google Doc that gives much more detailed or granular instructions. And then, like I said, have all the links in there you need so that you're not spending time. It doesn't say like, go to website, update it, and find that doc that I need to do blah, blah, blah. Like have the link to everything you need so you can click, open it, and you're not spending that time, going into Dropbox or Google Drive and searching for that file you need, because those are prime time for distraction, because you're going to be kind of annoyed that you're looking for it. Maybe you get a message, but if you've got everything lined up, you're just going to go through it, and you're really increasing the likelihood that you'll succeed with that. So that is the way I do it. I picked up bits and pieces of that from people. I believe I first saw the idea with the links is not mind-blowing. I think everyone does this to some degree. Ramit Sethi had a really good explanation of how he does some of his content and does some of his writing, and having everything in front of you when you need it. And so I took some of that to heart and have definitely incorporated that into my content production schedules, and that just helps save time, saves me from being irritated and literally wasting time looking for what I need. And then minimizes the distractions, which is an interesting side result of that, is that, in those times where we're doing that, like looking for something, those are times where you're really likely to kind of wander off and be like, oh, whoops, now I'm in my email doing this or over there. So anyways, hopefully that's helpful. It's a really good question. And of course, we could get much more detailed about that depending on where it is. But I think that's kind of a good general framework for those types of situations.